Alright, this is Justin with Targeting Alpha back with a video breakdown here. So today I'm going to be looking at Endo International. This is a biotech company or a pharmaceutical company that is in the opioid space. And with all the lawsuits on opioids, they've been hit pretty hard. And I believe there was some settlements or something that's happened with the hopes of some settlements with some of the larger companies like Johnson & Johnson. So I just want to kind of break down technical analysis of this chart and show how to potentially trade this one. Now, with that said, always do your own due diligence and never trade anything that you don't feel like is good for you. And don't take my opinion as something that's going to happen here, but I'm just showing you how I personally break down the stock and look for entries and exits. So as you can see here, the stock gapped up a little bit pre-market here on the other day. I believe that was Monday or Tuesday. And pulling into this time frame, you can see when it broke this pre-market high level, it had a little bit of a run up and kind of pulled back and tested that area. So you could have played an entry on this candle here. Potentially may have got stopped out here. But once it broke this next level, it did run up. And as long as you held and you had a slight stop loss, a little bit less than what it ran, you would have stayed in this stock. And as you can see, it kind of rode up this 9 EMA all the way up to here. And so potentially, if I was in from the morning, I would have probably got out on this candle breaking down the 20 EMA here, or one of these candles right here potentially, just because it had such a good run. It seemed to tap a little oversold on the RSI on the 1 minute chart here. Let's look at it on a 5 minute. Actually, let's look at it on a daily here. Again, the thing you should do is always pull it up on a daily and draw some resistance areas. So you had some resistance or support here at 336. Had some resistance here. Another level there. Another level there. Then go into your 5 minute chart here. And you can see here, as it got up into that resistance, it started to pull back, and that's probably where I would have got out of the stock. Now, I wasn't looking at this point, but it did come up on one of my scanners here for a high-a-day scanner or a candle gap scanner, and I noticed it starting to put in a bull flag. Now, things you want to look at when you're determining if it's a bull flag or not is you'll have high volume on the run up, and then you'll have a pullback on lower volume. Like, as you can see here, the volume really pulled back, and it was working on breaking out through this resistance. Now, that happened last night in after market hours, but bringing this up into after hours and today, as you can see, had a nice little gap up here in the morning time, and as it broke out that high a day there, you get a nice move from 40.36 right back up to that 468 area, which is probably where I would have started to look at taking profit. It is oversold, or I'm sorry, overbought on your 5-minute chart RSI. It's outside of the Bollinger Bands. It's near resistance. So in some of my other videos, I did touch on these, getting indicators to kind of line up. So when you get resistance levels, to line up with Bollinger Bands, to line up with an EMA that you're looking at, or RSI, really can signal a good place to exit. As you can see, it did pull back here almost to this pre-market high. So my thought process is it was attempting to do a pivot off of that. And as it started to run up here, I wouldn't necessarily have jumped in any of these candles. But where I would have played this was a break of this previous high. As you can see, when it broke that previous high at 481, it ran up to 508. Now, to get an exit on this, you can see that it pushed up into the Bollinger Band. You can see that it's back in the oversold. It's put in a slight divergence on the RSI. As you can see, the stock made a higher high, but made a lower high on your RSI. So all these things are signaling to me that would be a good place to exit this long strategy. The other thing that I like to look at too is the stocks do run in waves. So you can see here from this break point up at 422, it ran up to 482. So it was a 60-cent move. Going from this candle right here of 439, a 60-cent move would have been $5. So at this point, you're already seeing that it's ran up the same amount that it ran up previously. So that is another price level indicator that I'll use in my strategies, especially if you're just scalping the trade. Now, if you were going to swing trade this potentially, then maybe not using that strategy, but as you can see, it did pretty much respect that level of run up, pull back, and run up. Now, looking back here, you can see that it pulled back and made a pivot off of this level. So that would potentially maybe be another long entry. Let me look at this on a 1-minute chart. You can also look at a 1-minute chart breakdown of this 9 EMA. When it closes below that, usually that signals a further downtrend. You can also look at the Bollinger Bands on this. It is kind of respecting those Bollinger Bands. So as I have outlined in other videos, you don't just want to necessarily look at just one indicator or necessarily one time frame, but what you want to do is see how this stock is being looked at, because when you get a bounce off of an EMA line or a Bollinger Band or off of resistance, then typically that can happen again in the future. So you can see that it's respecting this Bollinger Band here. Maybe that proceeds it to respect it here, or on a downturn be another entry point. So always try to look at these indicators as back testing what it's already done, so that you can kind of predict the probability of that happening in the future. So my next entry probably here on this one would be a break over this 508 area, and then you have some strong daily resistance here at 555. This may double top here at this 508 and start to roll over. It's had a nice run. it seems like there's going to be some profit taking here soon. It's putting in that strong divergence here on the 1 minute chart. So just want to do a quick breakdown on that. So I will be breaking down stocks from time to time, kind of just showing my strategies and how I play stocks. If this is helpful for you, please comment below and definitely like this video. I'll be coming out with some other videos. I do have a video planned on risk management here. So I believe that is an important topic for all beginning traders because risk management is a key to really growing your account, especially if you don't have a lot of funds that you're starting with. So that's all for now. Good luck on your trading today, guys, and check back for more videos. Thanks.